Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMG Entertainment. My name is Aaron Knoll, and I am here with my first solo individual review, so hopefully this goes solid. We can keep steady to the point. Today, as the intro image and the name of the video tell you, we are going to be doing a review for the latest Disney Animation Studios release, Raya and the Last Dragon. The film was released last Friday on March 5th to both theaters and Disney Plus with a premium payment. So let's get into it. So first, for those of you who don't know what the film is about, here's a basic kind of setup, spoiler-free synopsis of the film that I came up with, which is Kumandra was once a prosperous land that was rampaged by the Droon, evil spirits that turn people to stone and multiply. The dragons of Kumandra used their remaining magic to create an orb to ward off the Droon and revive everyone, but end up turning themselves to stone. A power struggle for the orb leads to its destruction, and Raya, a protector of the orb, is left to pick up the pieces. Left with no other choice, Raya goes on a journey to find Sisu, the last dragon who lived, and to reunite the pieces of the orb and the people of the land in a last-ditch attempt to save Kumandra, its people, and her life. Uh, for starters, just very basically put, this was an incredible film. The last Disney film, actual Disney animation film that we saw was in 2019 with Frozen. So over a year, or Frozen 2, excuse me, over a year ago. And as much as I love Pixar, I do also love Disney. Nowadays, they are very similar to each other, but I often find that Disney does a good job with the fantastical stories, whereas Pixar, even its fantastical stuff, feels very grounded. Um, Stuff like Inside Out and Soul, which is very fantastical, is also handled in a very grounded, realistic way. And so I think Disney does a great job with the fantastical films, and I would say this is definitely another one of those instances. So to get into kind of some of my thoughts on the film, I want to begin with the writing of the film, the screenplay. It was really, really well written. The movie does a great job at the start of kind of fleshing the world out and establishing the world, Raya's place in it, and the issues at hand in a way that are very easy to comprehend quickly. And it gives you a reason, as we go through the movie and kind of the team of characters is built, it gives you a reason to care about each character that they are bringing into the equation. There isn't a character that's there without a reason, and there isn't a character that doesn't bring some sort of emotional depth, which I think is really good writing, because it kind of creates a place for everybody within the story. One of the few negatives I have, really the only major negative I have about the film, does come with the setup, though, which is I thought the pacing at the beginning was very quick. While it does do a good job of fleshing the story out and establishing the film, I thought that like the first 20 or 30 minutes probably could have used like 10 more minutes. Now the film does come in at just under 2 hours, so I don't know if Disney maybe wanted to do an over 2 hour animated film, but considering it's establishing a brand new world with its own mythology in such a grandiose way, I thought that maybe 10 more minutes just in that section of the film could have helped smooth it out so that you're not rushing it just to get to the main portion of the adventure. But that really is the biggest negative I have. Moving on, I'm displaying images from the film here as well. The animation in this film is, again, continuing to be some of the best and most beautiful animation we've seen from Disney. One of the things that they've improved on a lot over the last few years is their nature animation. In Frozen 2, we saw a lot done with snow and ice in the forest, and here we see a lot of rain effects. There's specifically a shot of her running through kind of puddles of rain left over from a storm, and the reflections you see in it are so well beautifully animated. Um, and areas like the jungles and the rivers that they're on are just so incredibly well designed, and almost at certain points, especially with when they do up close affecting, look as close to real as I think I've ever seen a Disney animated film come to. Another major positive of this film is the voice acting. I was very curious going into this what the voice acting would be like, because I thought the supporting cast was incredibly strong, but the two leads, Kelly Marie Tran's only other major role was The Last Jedi, and while I thought the writing was the problem with her character, not her performance, I'm not going to say it was the strongest performance. And Aquafina to me is very hit or miss depending on the film. And in this film, very quickly they establish that her character is very much, as Sisu the dragon, is very much kind of the genie to Kelly Marie Tran's Aladdin. In that sense, it's a very similar type of friendship and relationship they form, and Aquafina does have very energetic, spurty dialogue like that. For the most part, it does work. I was scared when it first started, but for the most part, it really does work. It's an enjoyable back and forth between the two, and the emotional moments as well as the comedic moments really work between them. So applauds to all the cast, but specifically them two. They do a great job. Um, Another major positive for me in this film, and this relates back to the writing, is about the themes of the film. Without getting into spoilers, because I do encourage everyone to see this, the main theme of the film is centered around distrust, both distrust in each other personally and distrust within society and the people around you. And I think the film handles it in a very good and mature way, and it shows complexities in characters and the decisions they're making and the allegiances that they hold and why they act a certain way without making every turn for a character feel like a major twist moment. Not everything is a twist, it's just how a character aligns in a given moment. And there are characters that kind of wiggle and maneuver back and forth and appear one way at one moment and appear another way in another. And it's just all about them doing what they think is right, even though at the end of the day, I would say pretty much every character in this film just wants what's best for the world. It's just their trust in others uh, kind of directs how they act about going about bringing what they feel is best for the world. And that's kind of the most I can say without really getting into the plot and spoiling it, which I don't want to do because the next bit of the review is kind of talking about the worth of the film. Obviously, it's being released in such a way that kind of may feel alienating to a lot of audiences right now. You can only see it in theaters, and you can only see it on Disney Plus through premium access purchase, which is $30. And so the question with this film comes is it worth it? Mulan came out with that $30 price tag, and despite the fact that I did pay it and watch it, I don't feel that film is good enough to be worth a $30 price tag, especially because I paid it for myself. Now, that's something I don't mind doing because I'm a film supporter, and I don't mind doing that out of my own pocket. But when people are watching budgets and when people are casually watching film, you have to ask the question, is it worth it? In terms of seeing it in theaters, if you are in a place that both has open theaters and in a specific area where you feel comfortable and safe doing so, whether it's for your own personal health or for those around you, I 100% would recommend that you see this in a theater. I had a lucky opportunity that not many people have to have gotten to see it in an early screening pre-release in my own private theater without having to pay the crazy $100, $200 rental fees that some theaters are doing. And as I said, that's an incredibly lucky opportunity that not everybody will have. But if you are in a place where your theaters aren't busy and you feel comfortable taking that risk being around potentially maybe 5, 6, 7 other people in a theater, I would 100% recommend you go see this in a theater because I think that is the only way to truly appreciate how beautiful the film is. That being said, you also get an exclusive seeing it in a theater that people on Disney Plus won't get, which is the first Disney film since Moana, I believe, in 2016, to come with a short film, which is called Us Again. It's a beautiful kind of beautiful silent singing in the rain kind of style musical short film that talks about age and being scared of aging, and I quite frankly thought it was beautiful. It will release on Disney Plus in a few months, I believe, around the time that Raya goes free on Disney Plus. But if you do see it in a theater, keep in mind you are getting that cool little 5-minute short film as a bonus, and as it's the first one they've done in a few years, I think it's absolutely worth it. That being said, if you are viewing it at home on Disney Plus, is it worth the Disney Plus rental fee? I would say yes, if you're either a multi-person family or if you have a group of friends that are going to be with you watching it. If you are an individual or maybe a couple, considering divvying up the $30 amongst the number of people is the equivalency of a ticket price, it's hard to justify paying $30 for one ticket to a film or $15 for one ticket to a film when you're watching it at home. But if you have a family of four or a group of six friends that are getting together to watch this film, at six friends, that means everyone's paying $5 for a ticket. And I absolutely think this film is worth that if you are coming together. And it also supports, all the animators and the workers and the people who put their heart and soul, a lot of it from home, to get this film made. So I know that price tag does initially put people off, but I do promise you that this film is absolutely worth it if you're in a situation where it's not all on you or you're paying for like a multi-person family. I think it is absolutely worth the charge because this is a film that I think will be watched and loved by all, and I think kids could rewatch it and still enjoy it afterwards. That being said, as we finish up the review here, my final score on TMG scale of 5 for Raya and the Last Dragon is a 4.75 out of 10. I think it's as close to damn near perfect as you're going to get, but the pacing issues at the start were just enough to pull me out of it to kind of drop it that extra point. Once those pacing issues went away, the film is damn near perfect from there on, with brilliant writing, brilliant acting, brilliant animation, a lot of heart, and even though it's not a comedy, there is some decent humor in there and some laughs from Aquafina. That being said, thank you guys for checking the video out. Please be sure to subscribe. Stay around for more reviews, trailer reactions, and all the podcast shows we have going up each and every day during the week. My name is Aaron Knoll, and we'll see you guys next time.